What's going on, y'all, and welcome on in. Hopefully you enjoyed that intro, because today we summoned on stream for REM and Amelia, but today's going to focus on REM, her build, what I found works, why she works so well, and how powerful I think she is, and why I think you guys need to pull for her right now if you haven't already. Speaking of pulls, on stream, I think I used about 1,300 bookmarks, probably more, 1,400, because I did some also 900 Sky Stone conversions. Maybe, let's say, 1,500 bookmarks total, and I only got 4 copies. So the luck was, I think, all right. But we ended up getting like 6 of her artifacts. I would have liked to get more REMs, because you'll see here in a little bit, I couldn't triple S, but I did save up a lot for it, and I got enough for Samurai Series. So don't forget, guys, Samurai Series has been confirmed, coming right after the collab. I can talk at the end of the video about the Amelia REM and then Iseria. We'll touch on that. I'll go over builds, thoughts, and everything, okay? So stay tuned for the rest of the video. Alrighty, y'all. Let's go ahead and talk about the REM build I used for that montage in the intro. The build I liked the most throughout the day, that was the most fun, the most successful for me, okay? So, as you can see here, guys, I mentioned we summoned enough for S-Rank Imprint, and I did plus 15 off the bat. Quick Mola guide for her. If you're following this build, I'll go and show the stats right now. This is a 0-speed counter set build. If you want to try this one out, and I think it is very, very good. I really like this build. Who knows if I'll change it in the future. Let me know if anyone is trying like some mega fast builds. I'm going to show you at the end a speed build from Valkyria. If you mentioned him from our tier list video, he has a very successful speed build. So those of you that don't have counter sets, you can try that one out. I think that one's actually just as good. It's just a different playstyle. But if you want to copy the 0-speed counter build, let me go ahead and give you my skill enhancement guide, the Mola guide. Of course, I plus 15'd it. I think she wants everything as a bruiser style unit. She can make a lot of use out of all the enhancements. But let's say you're strapped for Molas. I think the skill 3 is the least important. Skill 2 is very, very important, because landing those unhealable iron strikes, that's the it's like an Elbrus counter when a enemy hits an opponent or hits one of your units that is not REM, she has a chance to pop off, right? So even when they're not hitting her, she can counter. And I think landing that unhealable, landing that extra damage is huge. So the extra 5% is really, really nice. 20% total. I would Mola this for sure, plus 5. And also, I would try to get at least 10% here. And honestly, you want to get plus 5 there. And to be honest, guys, you want all this damage here too eventually. But in the beginning, just get skill 2 in my opinion, then get the effect chance here. So you have the 50% chance to defense break. Because if you're on counter build like this one, a lot of your damage is going to come through the double skill 1 hit, right? The leave it to me, you hit with the skill 1, you decrease defense, ignoring effect resist. I'll talk about that in a second. And then you follow up doing that huge, huge damage. So that extra effect chance plus the damage dealt is really important. But try to get plus 15 when you can, guys. She's definitely worth it. All right. So let me show you the stat line. We went for, think of like I think this kind of build is similar to the Fire Ravi builds of old. A little bit less bulky for more attack, but we go for 0 speed, okay? So in exchange for speed boots, I tried like a 150, 170, 180-ish speed counter build. It worked okay, but I think the stats you make up for this and just going for 0 speed, there's another reason why, because of demon mode. We'll get into that, why her skills work so well together on this build in just a second. But in exchange for, going speed, we get 65% health, so she's very bulky. And I think the reasoning for 0 speed synergizes with the demon mode so well. This is my favorite so far. Things I would improve, just getting crit chance to 100%. I think that's the only thing I think might, be annoying. But overall, I really like this so far after my full day of testing. Let me know what you guys are liking, and if you try this build out, let me know how it goes for you, okay? So let's go and talk about her skill kit and why it's so good. Smilegate knocked it out of the park, guys. They absolutely killed on her skill design. Some people may scream OP. Right now, she definitely feels very fun. Maybe borderline OP, but once people start to learn her, I don't think she's going to be meta breaking, meta defining or anything. I think people will be able to counter her. But if you build her wisely, if you find a good skill set or like a synergistic build like this one for her, and you build around it, ban out any hard counters, she's absolutely amazing. So let's go ahead and talk about why. Let's first look at the demon mode, because I kept mentioning it, right, guys? So demon mode activates whenever an ally dies or an enemy dies. So it's actually pretty simple to get into demon mode. If they're tanking up and you can't get into demon mode, just bring a must-kill target like Arbiter Vildred, something like that that'll die on your side, and she'll get in there. And she really wants to be in this demon mode as fast as possible. And at 0 speed, she's going to stay in as long as possible. Remember, it only lasts 2 turns. So if you're super fast, she's going to get out of it. She's going to cycle out of it super quick, because also her skill 3 gives her a 50% combat readiness push. But if we're super slow, we stay in demon mode as long as possible. And demon mode gives us immunity to debuffs, which is absolutely insane, guys. I can't tell you how crazy this is. You can't stun her, you can't blind her, you can't do anything to her. Unbuffable, unhealable, nothing. So Sigurd's Scythe, she will always be able to heal herself as long as they don't one-shot her or, you know, get a good chunk in to finish her off. This is why I think Sigurd's Scythe is so good. But she also ignores effect resist when attacking. So Soul Weavers, Knights, nobody is safe to this skill 1, leave it to me. She'll defense break you. If you want to soul burn it, 100% defense chance break, and it's only 10 souls, so when the fight goes on, you're gonna get enough souls. You can kill off almost any target, and if Frenzy is there, guys, she will murder anything, even 250 effect resist units, because she ignores it. Defense breaks them, kill them, they're dead. On top of that, guys, so a problem with going 0 speed on a lot of builds, right? I think this is why Charles was kind of successful in the beginning, is because if you go 0 speed, you're very susceptible to being ignored. A lot of people build counter units on 0 speed. I think the only successful one right now is Seaside Bologna because their counter is different. But let's say you try to build your Ravi or Apocalypse Ravi on 0 speed. If they realize you're super slow, they just ignore it and you only skill 1 or skill 3 occasionally. It's not that great, right? But you can't ignore REM as much as the other two or other units because of the Maid's Pride, the Iron Strike counterattack. Whenever an ally, except for the caster attack, that has a 20% chance to counterattack it. So make sure you mull it. And it'll also do unhealable, which is huge for countering units like Rowana. I was worried about Rowana, but my chat was telling me, Car, you have nothing to worry. Guys, Rowana is not a hard counterer. You'll see a lot of people trying to counter because, of course, on a unit like REM that has so many counterattacks built in, Rowana seems like an amazing counter, and she's Earth type. REM doesn't care, boys. Unhealable, tons of AoE, tons of damage coming in. She can even defense break Rowana, even on high effect resist. It's not a counter, so... The more Iron Strikes you do, if you land one, it's almost over if you're in demon mode. The skill 3 on this build, like I mentioned, is not that important, but it'll give her an attack up. I still think you want to try to bring an attack up unit. So General Purgus, Maid Chloe, DN, anything like that that's kind of tanky and can go for a longer match. Bring a unit like that, and if she gets attack up, even before she gives herself attack up, she'll be able to get more off her counters when your opponent is hitting anybody on your side, right? Just you need a little bit of chance, a little bit of luck. Procking those 20% chance counters on the Maid's Pride or your built-in counter set. Other than that, though, the blind is nice. The increased combat readiness is nice. But this skill 3 is more of just an extra AoE damage dealer. The real money maker is just sitting in demon mode and proccing those counterattacks. The double leave it to me's or the Iron Strike from skill 2. I can't reiterate how important it is, guys, to get in demon mode, to get this immunity buffs, to ignore effect resist, and then when you're on Sigurd's Scythe, she's just so hard to kill. Your opponent is hard pressed. Either they try to kill REM off quickly, risk getting countered and healing her up to full, or hitting an opponent and also getting AoE attacked, getting unhealable, and also healing. So Sigurd's Scythe, I think, for this kind of build is a must-have. I think a lifesteal build could work, guys, if you don't have Sigurd's Scythe. That actually might seem pretty decent. That could be a good alternative. Lifesteal is actually pretty strong with how much she counterattacks. But I haven't tested that one yet. Maybe in the future. Alrighty, y'all, let's quickly talk about the artifacts because I know I'll get asked about them. I don't think either artifact, REM's or Amelia's, are best in slot for them just yet. You never know in the future with future testing, other kinds of builds people come up with. They may become better, but overall, guys, my take on both of them, they're both stat sticks for REM, crit chance for Amelia, effect resist. They stack nicely, especially with their imprints, of course. But overall, I think there's just other artifacts. Sigurd's Scythe, I think, right now is best in slot by far for REM, unless, I think, guys, if the only time you really want to ham out, go ham for this artifact is if you're a cleaver. If you're a super aggressive player and you can guarantee that first turn or that, early death, you can make great use of that increased combat readiness push on whatever you put this on. Overall, though, I don't think it's great for Amelia right now for most builds. And I think just try to get one of each of this, and let's go ahead and show Amelia's artifact here. Try to get one of each with powder because they're limited. They may never come back. And you never know if you may want it in the future, if other builds come up that are great, or if, you want to try it on Amelia and REM in the future. But right now, for REM, I think, like, Sigurd's Scythe is much better. And then for Amelia, I think Rod of Amaryllis, Potion Vial, Water's Origin, Touch of Reiko's Shamadra's Staff. There's so many other good Soul Weaver options. But I do think this one is slightly better or more usable for the general player base. The REM artifact, pretty much just for cleavers right now. And this one I think will have a lot of uses in the future for counterplay. It's an interesting tech. It can also be very surprising. But neither are must-haves, guys. So if you had to skip them and save, because remember what I was talking about, Samurai Area, we don't know any info about her yet. You may be able to wait. Just hold off on the artifacts. We might see a patch preview or a skill preview for Iseria the night before she's released, before Collab ends in 2 weeks. So maybe if you want to save your powder and things like that. But overall, my suggestion, just try to get one of each. But if you had to skip one or the other for Iceria because of bookmarks, do not waste any. They're not must-haves right now. And that's just my quick take. All right. Hopefully this helps you out, guys. Build Rem. Use her immediately. She's so fun. Props to Smilegate. I know people were not like overly excited with the story and things like that, but the unit themselves are amazing. The skill animations are amazing. Hope you enjoy, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye, everybody.